in this whole semester. Okay. Okay. Welcome to this session. So today we are going to look into the MOS operation, the fundamental MOS operation, and from there we will essentially be able to have a physical understanding of the behavior of the MOS operation. This much of this topic should have been already covered in your BTech courses, so consider it as a revision, because unless these concepts are clear, we cannot go on for the MOS modeling in the next classes. All right. So first of all, we are going to break up the MOSFET behavior into, um, shall we say, like into different influences of different terminals, so to speak. Okay. So for example, if we are speaking about a PN junction, we basically have two terminals. You know that one of them will be the plus, the other one will be the minus, essentially meaning anode and cathode. Okay. Now, when we are speaking about a MOS, always remember the metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. In short, instead of calling MOSFET every time, I'll call it MOS itself. So the MOS is inherently a capacitance. Okay, please keep that in mind. So when we talk about a MOS, then we can essentially kind of think about it like this kind of a structure. Okay, now okay, so there is a voltage here, which is, let us say, VB. Later on, we will see what happens when the body and the source are shorted and all that, which you have already covered in your circuits course, but we will understand it much more deeply. So here is the gate, and one arbitrary voltage is there, VG. One arbitrary voltage here is VB. Now remember, I am not specifying any reference voltage for this. So I'm not suggesting that the specifically that source is always grounded. No, we are not saying that. What we are suggesting is that source is at a different potential, and all of them with respect to each other. They can be any general, it's a generalized situation. Like all of them can have any arbitrary voltages and all that. Okay. Now, so this is VG and VB, and the other two terminals here, one will be VS, which is not necessarily grounded. VB is not necessarily shorted with the source, things like that. Okay. And here it is the drain, VD. So notice that I have put two different colors for the different terminals. Okay. So the first thing that you have to keep in mind is that before we add the source and the drain terminals, this is very, very important. Please understand this. And if you have any doubt whatsoever, please immediately open up your microphone and interrupt me. Okay. Because this is the most fundamental, and now henceforth we will be doing MOS itself. So unless you understand MOS, I mean, this is the device which is ruling the technology right now. A little bit better modification is the FinFETs, but FinFET is basically the fundamental operation is the MOS itself. So please understand this very, very carefully. All right. So this green terminals, VG and VB, if you notice, that will essentially create one electric field. Okay. So usually we will have the VG more positive with respect to the body terminal. Usually. That means because of these potentials VG and VB, you are going to have one big electric field like this, which let me call it as field Fy. By the way, I'll also annotate this region as Y, again in nanometers. And this way it is X in nanometers. And this part is your 0, 0. Okay, got it, everyone? So basically, what I am trying to um, say is that this is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. Okay, let me annotate there itself. It will be easier for you to understand later. Okay, so this Vg and Vb will develop one electric field called Fy. This Fy, as you can see, this y-axis is, as we can understand, it is a vertical axis, and x is the horizontal axis. So along the vertical axis, if it is Fy, that means this is the vertical field. Okay, so I'll just write it down because we will be referring to it everywhere. So this is the vertical. In industry or in academia, when we are dealing with MOS or FinFETs or FETs in general, we do not bother about calling it electric, because in all the operation, magnetic field is kind of never ever there. So basically what we will always refer to as vertical field. Okay, now notice this Vs and okay, let's just put it in the green color so that you can associate. Okay, now what we shall have is the blue color, Vd and Vs. Notice that you are essentially having this N plus region. By the way, the MOS theory, the MOS models, and everything what we are going to discuss from now onwards, they are all essentially for N MOSFETs. So that means the substrate here is P substrate. Okay, so we will later on see how the things will change if we take it into a P MOSFET rather than an NMOS, because you are doing VLSI design, CMOS technology, right? So you need PMOS as well. So now, for the N MOSFET, if you notice that with respect to Vs and Vd, usually the drain potential is at more positive potential with respect to this Vs. Okay. Now, please note that I am not specifying anything about whether Vs is equal to 0, that is grounded, or Vb is equal to grounded, or Vb equal to Vs. Those are all essentially circuit applications of this device. Okay. So now let us understand. So since Vg is more positive with respect to Vb, you will be having the vertical field Fy pointing downwards. Similarly, since Vd is more positive with respect to Vs, you are going to have another field like this. This I will call it as Fx, let us say. All right, where Fx is called the lateral field. Okay. Now I am calling this Y. I'm calling this as X. In some textbooks like Tor and Ning, it's my favorite textbook. So over there they are calling this as X, this as Y. So it doesn't really matter about the axis. Okay. Now I am greatly influenced by the textbook called Cividis. You will find it in the handout, Operation and Modeling of MOS devices. So basically, I'm for the devices in general, I will always prefer the book of Tor and Ning, which used to be the textbook in IIT Bombay when I was there. Still now, I think it is there for the masters. They are still following this. Cividis is even more advanced level because it is only concerning MOS. Okay, so if you we used to say this, like when I was in ISC Bangalore and I used to do my PhD. So we used to tell ourselves, like among our friends, that if you can master the book of Cividis, you are a master of MOS. Okay, so uh, so I am greatly influenced by that Cividis's book. So I'm even the approach of the MOS device, which we are going to study in this course, that will be more or less from this book of Cividis. Before that, and except MOS, whatever we have done is primarily available in Tor and Ning, and the quantum mechanics and all those parts, I do not even want to refer to any particular textbook because my notes are more than sufficient for your requirements. But MOS and the devices are important, right? So you can study from these books. All right, so let's come back to business. So we have essentially got two different fields which are acting simultaneously. Okay, one is this Fy, the other one is Fx. Now, the most important part to understand is that fields are vectors, right? So let me put the vector signs. So makes better sense. So essentially meaning that if they are vectors, then that means they are mutually orthogonal to each other. So what it means is the phenomenon which we are going to observe in the MOSFET because of the VDS voltage. That means that VDS voltage is giving you the Fx or the lateral field. So whatever phenomenon we observe in the MOSFET thanks to the lateral field is mutually exclusive. Remember that concept of mutually exclusive, that is independent of the phenomenon that we observe in the MOSFET due to the vertical field. So that means the phenomenon because of Fx and the phenomena because of Fy are mutually exclusive. They don't depend on each other. Now, the statement which I have made, that is valid if and only if the device is a large device. Okay, so I'm mentioning this at the very beginning that before we go into the more details and after we have finished off the subthreshold slope and all those concepts, critical concepts about the very large device, we are not going to relax this assumption that the device is very large. Device is large means this point and this point are kind of very far off from each other. So meaning that the channel length is very high. We are speaking about 350 nanometer technology node. Okay, so whatever we are designing, thinking about right now is not for scaled devices. These are not for like 45 nanometer, yeah, even lower 7 nanometer, 5 nanometer technology node. No. So whatever theory I am telling, please be very clear that this theory is not valid at 7 nanometer. No, not at all. This theory is still valid. The only thing is that when I'm suggesting that Fx and Fy are mutually exclusive, that is not going to be true in case of short channel devices. Okay, so then we have to essentially find out some other techniques of solving all that. We will see if we can, if we have the time to solve, if we have the time to cover those up. So essentially you can understand, like those of you who are smart, you will understand that all the electrostatics for diodes or any device for that matter, we started with the Poisson equation, right? So if it is a large channel device, okay, 350 nanometer node, in those cases what happens is uh, we are going to approximate this, we are going to ignore one of these fields with respect to the other. Clearly what we can understand is that Fy is going to be much larger than Fx because the source and the drain terminals are far away from each other, whereas Fy is not so far away. So that means all the electrostatics in the long channel MOSFET will be defined with respect to Fy. All the electrostatics, please note my word. This is getting recorded so that you can even make notes later on. So the behavior of the long channel MOSFET is primarily determined by Fy. Behavior means electrostatic behavior. Okay. However, this Fx will be instrumental for the carrier transport in the MOSFET. So that means the currents in the MOSFET will be generated because of Fx. The electrostatics of the MOSFET will be generated because of Fy. Okay. So now I will basically give you one concept, which is, which I find it easier to think about it. So I will share with you. So as I said, I should write a book on MOSFET myself. So it's not there in any textbook anywhere. This is something which I understood. I find it easier to understand. So that means there are two electric fields, right? Mutually orthonormal to each other. None of each of them will not affect the others. Now, we always find out. So I will think about it like there are two signal paths parallelly working in the MOSFET. One is along this, okay, between VG and VB. So this signal path, okay, this is, I shall call it as the control path. Okay, so Fy I shall simply write here the control path. I will explain why it is a control, because like all of you are higher degree, so it will be easier for you to understand already. You can connect the dots, so to speak. So this Fy is controlling whether the channel will be there or not. Simple. So the control on the operation of the MOSFET, whether it is in saturation or linear or cutoff or subthreshold or these kind of. So the control on the behavior of the MOSFET is done through the gate control. So that is the vertical field, that is the control path. Okay. Now there is another this field Fy. What is this? This will essentially give you the signal path. So that means the signals which we are working about, that is the current path, signal or the current path. Let me just also write that. That is the current. Just look at the distinctions. So the lateral field leads to transport of the carriers. That means current. Okay. Whereas the control path leads to inversion. Okay. So now this fundamental concept should be very clear. So whenever you see any complicated device, no matter how complicated it is, our gate overlap tunnel FETs or fin FETs or anything, carbon nanotube if it is, carbon nanotube FETs, CN FETs, doesn't matter. If it is a field effect transistor, then always think in terms of the fields rather than the voltages. Okay, think in terms of the vertical field and lateral field, vertical field and lateral field. ठीक है, हम लोग हमेशा क्या करते हैं, VDS VGS के बारे में सोचते हैं. Okay, but before we come to VGS VDS, the first simplification that we will first begin, so this is the approach of my favorite textbook Cividis. What they will do is we will simply cut out these terminals. Okay, so that means we will first begin with the MOS capacitor. So what Cividis approach is really nice, I find, I mean, the favorite. So we will first analyze what happens when we essentially make a sandwich of metal, oxide, and semiconductor materials, all three one after another. And then we will try to figure out what happens when kind of approach. So basically now you can clearly see that it is kind of a simple capacitor. In a capacitor, you will be having metal, oxide, and metal. Oxide is a dielectric here. So it is a simple capacitor. Instead of the metal on the other side, I have simply put silicon. All right. So in this situation, you are effectively going to get one capacitor, right? So this, I will call it as the 2T MOS. That means two terminal MOS structure. So this 2T MOS structure is basically MOS capacitor. Okay. Once we have finished this MOS capacitor analysis, okay, then we will try to investigate. So first thing is that if it is a MOS capacitor, obviously this FX is not there. FX kab aane wala hai? Only when you are having the source and the drain terminals, right? So initially we will begin with the effect of gate and body terminals alone. ठीक है, यहाँ पर सोर्स और ड्रेन की बात हम करेंगे ही नहीं. ठीक है. Later on, what we will do is, so my approach is basically inspired by Cividis. My approach will be, we will first begin with the capacitor, MOS capacitor, and then we will try to figure out what will happen if we add the third terminal over here, which is the source. Then after we have understood this, that will become the 3T MOS or gated diode. I am not even writing it here. It will be confusing. So MOS, if you want to understand it very, very nicely, we will investigate the influence of each and every terminal in the MOSFET. Okay, influence of each and every terminal. तो यहाँ पर clearly it is like typically in case of a diode, you have seen diode is a two terminal device, resistance is a two terminal device, capacitor is a two terminal device. So any passive device is also going to be always having the minimum of two terminals, right? So this is also a two terminal device, this is the minimum. And then we are going to see the characteristics, what happens if we apply the voltages and all that. Then we will study only the vertical field and inversion. This fx part is totally gone. We are not going to bother about that fx as of now. No lateral field in the system. ठीक है, तो पहले हम मॉस को समझेंगे मॉस कैपेसिटर के हिसाब से. Later on what we will do is we will insert another terminal and we will first understand the MOS capacitor and try to understand what is the drawback for this MOS capacitor. ठीक है, MOS capacitor को समझेंगे, मॉडल करेंगे, सब कुछ एकदम पूरा कच्चा चिट्ठा जानेंगे पूरा इसके बारे में. We will learn each and everything about the MOS capacitor. We will become an expert in MOS capacitor in the next 1 or 2 weeks. And then what we will do is we will go further deep inside and find out what are the problems with the MOS capacitor. Once we find the MOS capacitor has the problem, then we will suddenly find out that if we add one third terminal, which is Vs, then all those problems will be gone in the MOS capacitor. Okay, so then it becomes three terminal. So we will essentially call it 3T MOS structure. And what is the name of the 3T MOS structure? Gated diode. We will understand why it is actually a gated diode. So with the third terminal, you can understand that there is basically one diode, which all of you have studied, right? In the midsem also you have answered that question, N plus P diode. Look, okay, let me highlight the junction. Where is it? Yeah. This is the junction, all right? N plus P junction. Now I have added a gate in the P region of that junction. Okay, so once we understand that, then we will understand why the source terminal is needed in the MOSFET. Then finally, we are going to add the fourth terminal, which is here. Okay, and we will connect the VD. So that is the 4T MOS. This is basically the field effect transistor, so that we will call it as the MOSFET. Now, at the BTech level, we studied MOSFET as a device, but here we are going to basically find out what happens when we are adding one terminal after another. Okay, later on, when we will, after understanding this MOSFET, so it will take roughly around 1 month. Okay, entire November will go like this. And after that, towards the end of November, we are all going to be experts on MOSFETs. Then what we shall do is, we will essentially think about what will happen if we shrink the device. Okay, so that is basically the scaling. So when we will scale the technology node, then what are the consequences of scaling? Okay, so once we have scaled it, then we will notice that there are several bad effects of scaling. Okay, so as a solution of scaling, we will come into the concept which is called SOI, silicon on insulator. So I'll use another color. There will be a buried oxide here. Then it is possible to pull out another terminal from this particular edge. Okay, that will essentially differentiate, that will basically classify whether that SOI structure, SOI क्यों कहते हैं? Silicon on insulator. This insulator is basically the buried oxide, which I have written as BOX. So the silicon on insulator, that is the full form of SOI technology. The reason why SOI is so important is because many things. We will see that I have probably discussed in one of our previous lectures. Now, SOI is the current technology everywhere. FinFET is an SOI device. Okay, GOTFET is an SOI device. Okay, GOT-FET is actually a double gate. So double gate is nothing other than an SOI. Okay. Basically, what is GOT-FET? Notice that what do we call it over here? We will call it gate oxide. This is the buried oxide. So now suppose this gate oxide and buried oxide are the same thickness. Then basically your device will look something like this only, right? So here I will call it as the front gate. Here I will call it as the back gate. Usually we will short these two. Okay. And these essentially become N plus region, N plus region. This becomes your VDS. And this is your source, which is grounded. So this is a typical structure of a double gate MOSFET. In our TFETs, we are having a P plus. GOT-FET is a separate modification where the gate is essentially overlapping the source. That's why it is called gate overlap tunnel FETs. Okay, so that much is there. So now what you can understand is that this is also an SOI structure. Why? Because this happens to be your gate oxide. And this happens to be your buried oxide. The only difference between this one and this one is that buried oxide and the gate oxide thickness are the same. Okay? So essentially what I'm trying to tell you is that in all the modern advanced devices, they are having oxides on both the upper layer as well as the lower layer. Okay, so that's why it is technically a thin film transistor also, TFT. Anyway, we will look into those things later. Okay, so we will look into the SOI. So probably that will finish off the course. All right, so right now what we will do is we will begin with the very basics with only. So in an SOI device, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it will be a 5-terminal MOSFET. Okay. Now presence of this terminal essentially tells whether it is going to be a PDSOI, that is partially depleted SOI, or fully depleted SOI. Okay, this is a 5-terminal MOSFET. So we will look into that much later. So what we shall do right now, we'll begin with the very basic. Okay, very nice. Now with this in mind, notice the Y direction was the vertical direction, right? So I am just for making it easier for us to draw and to comprehend, to understand, I have drawn Y along the horizontal axis. Remember, this is the vertical direction. Okay, that means the gate control or the control path. It's not the signal path. Signal path hasn't even come here because we have not yet given the source and drain terminals. Okay. This case over here, the y-axis is the energy axis, again in electron volts as usual. Okay. Now we will begin with an idealized situation which is never going to happen. So please remember that this is practically impossible, that the metal work function, that means remember that from infinity, that means the vacuum level to EFM, and from vacuum level to the EF of the semiconductor, they are exactly matched. कभी हो ही नहीं सकता. ठीक है? Because in the periodic table itself, there is not any other, there are no metals which are exactly matched with the silicon Fermi energy level, and that too, this Fermi energy level of the silicon is essentially controlled by the doping. Yes or no? I know. So you cannot ensure that EFM is exactly matched with EF. So we have to deal with something called the flat band voltage, which we will see later. Okay, I will call this flat band voltage VFB as a sort of a zero error. Again, this zero error kind of thing is that I have given this terminology. It is not there in any textbook anywhere. Okay, so don't take up any book and try to find the zero error in a MOSFET or Google zero error in a MOSFET. This is a name which I have given. It's easier for us to understand. Zero error means, like, you already know what is zero error is. You are basically standing up on a weighing machine. You just know that it shows a -5 kilo. So if you are getting 80 kilos, don't be happy, because I mean, it is actually 85. So now the point is, the zero error part is essentially referring to the initial condition which is already there before you have started applying any voltages. Okay, so VGB, remember, note, I have not given VGS. In some of the textbook they write VGS starting from the very beginning, which is totally incorrect, क्योंकि हमने यहाँ पर source terminal डाला ही नहीं है. Please understand that technically you have not added a source. We will understand the influence of the source terminal later. Then we will understand what is the meaning of gated diode. Okay, very good. So the first condition is that ideal condition when the metal work function is exactly matched with that of silicon. This is practically impossible. This is in capital letters, so you remember. Okay, now what is the surface potential? These are some of the definitions which I wanted to make clear before we even embark on the journey on MOSFETs. Surface potential is the difference between the bulk intrinsic energy level and the surface intrinsic energy level. अच्छा, ये bulk हम कैसे समझेंगे? Okay. So notice that we have put the y-axis in such a manner that at the surface, that means oxide silicon interface, that I will call it as a surface. This is the standard term for this particular interface. Okay, so that is y equal to 0. From there the y-axis begins, as you can see. Okay, it is going more and more deeper inside the substrate. Now at y equal to infinity, that means it is far away from the surface, deep inside the inside the bulk, you are going to have this y equal to infinity values. Okay, and this is y equal to 0. So this is your bulk. I'll just write it in blue. Is corresponding to the bulk. So every time I say something is at bulk, that means it is deep inside the substrate, as I have shown over here. Y equal to infinity is representing the bulk. Y equal to 0 is representing the surface. Okay, everybody? So these are the basic definitions at the very beginning. So surface potential, matlab, how do you define surface potential? Remember, there is an equivalent sign over here. That means it is equal to by definition. So EI infinity, that means the intrinsic Fermi energy level at the bulk minus the intrinsic Fermi energy level on the surface. That means y EI 0. Okay. Now, what is the bulk Fermi potential? That is, remember, phi f over here is defined as EI infinity माइनस ई एफ. अच्छा, इन्फिनिटी नहीं लिख रहे हैं यहाँ पर, सिर्फ ई एफ ही लिख रहे हैं. क्यों? वी विल कम टू दैट. डिवाइडेड बाय क्यू. So this is by definition, and that will essentially give you phi t ln Na by Ni. This phi t is, remember, Kt by Q. अच्छा, पहले आप हमें बताइए कि when we are essentially speaking about, when we will soon be applying the voltages and see how the bands bend and all that. So first thing, why is EF always constant? No current. Okay, what does it mean? Basically, no current. No current in the y direction, correct? And most important thing to keep in mind is that no current in the y direction because of the presence of the dielectric. Clear? Even much more simpler way of approaching is that it is basically a capacitor. And don't forget that MOS, when you have not added the source and the drain terminals, simply the gate and the body terminals are there, it is basically a capacitor. And a capacitor is technically always in equilibrium. Okay, because as your friend has just rightly said, there is no current, there is no movement of charges, there is no movement of particles. Of course, there will be a movement of particles when you are changing the biases. Basically, what happens? You are increasing uh, the voltage across the capacitor. What will happen? It is going to pull in more amount of charges. So, but that is a transient effect. The moment you have increased from 1 to 2 volts, momentarily there will be some balancing out the charges. But finally, when you have kept the applied voltage at 2 volts, potential difference between the two terminals of the capacitor, then the situation is like a DC. It's not a transient, it's a DC. So you must be remembering that when you were doing circuit theory, a simple capacitor showed some action, something was interesting going on only during transients. Okay? In VLSI design, you must have seen that the transients of the capacitor or the transients of the RC network only determine the propagation delay, isn't it? Transients of the RC network in the VLSI design circuits, they will only determine the rise time, fall time, and hence the maximum operating frequency. Yes or no? Correct. So that means the transients are essentially determining the operating frequency. That means capacitances, but the moment the voltage, the load or the output capacitance voltage at the output node is exactly at VDD or exactly at zero, or whenever it is stabilized for that matter. If you're using past tense, it will be VDD minus VT and VTN. So anyway, so the point is that whenever it has stabilized, then it is basically a DC and the capacitance will not allow any current to flow. So that means capacitance is always under equilibrium. Okay, and we have already seen that anything at equilibrium, there will be no current, and anything at equilibrium, the Fermi energy level is always going to align. Okay, so as far as the MOS capacitor is concerned, you are not going to have any difference in the Fermi energy level anywhere in the device. And now, then in that case, you might be thinking, "Acha, current kahan se aayega fir MOSFET mein?" Because remember, in the MOSFET, we are applying the drain and the source terminals. So there is also a lateral field which will come into the picture, and that lateral field is going to disturb this Fermi energy level. We will look into those effects later. Yes, Prithviraj, very good.
Sir, like I have doubt regarding that Fermi alignment as of now.
Yes, yes.
Like I don't like as of you didn't mention anywhere temperature related thing. Like my
No,
doubt
I
is
am. Please tell
my
me.
doubt is the at certain temperature, suppose like room temperature only, the number of electrons, free electrons in the semiconductor and in the MOS will be like different, right? Like the probability of finding them will be different, right? So how can they be aligned is the question.
Why? Why? Under DC, under the equilibrium condition, when it is steady state, like when the you are not changing any voltages. Okay, we are
Okay.
always assuming that whatever we are applying, the voltages and everything, they are already at steady state. That means the temperatures and all are not changing.
Okay.
Okay, and always remember that whenever we are discussing about the MOS operation or diode operation, BJT operation, device operation in general, we won't consider the case that one part of the, so here is temperature equal to 100 degrees, here it is 10 degrees. It's not possible to maintain this kind of a temperature difference inside the MOSFET. Okay, so as a consequence, we cannot say, we can never claim that there is more number of carriers on one side and the other because of temperature gradient. No, no, no. Okay, uh, that will never arise in a practical VLSI circuit. Okay,
Sir,
what of course,
across the materials I'm talking, sir, like in the metal and in the semiconductor.
how will be
Like
there be a
my
temperature
only point is
difference?
like how can they be aligned is the only doubt I have. That's it.
No, why? Because you are not having any. What you can think about is why VFB is equal to zero. Remember the zero error. Okay, probably you are getting a confusion because of that. Prithviraj, right?
Yes, sir.
Can't
Yes,
see
sir.
you. Yes. Dekho, it is never going to be aligned in practice.
Okay.
What you have said is
Okay.
correct. बिकॉज ऐसा कोई मेटल नहीं है जिसका वर्क फंक्शन यहाँ पर इंफिनिटी के हिसाब से this will be exactly matched with this.
Okay.
Okay, we can never we will never find a single metal which is exactly matched with that in the periodic table. So this, I have written that here in red color, it is the VFB, which is the zero error. We will
ठीक है,
explore the zero error later.
ठीक ठीक।
ठीक है, तो
ओके,
टेम्परेचर के कारण कोई डिफरेंस नहीं आने वाला। ऐसा नहीं होगा कि मेटल का टेम्परेचर अलग है, ऑक्साइड का अलग है, सेमीकंडक्टर अलग है, नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होने वाला है। बट द डिफरेंस विल एसेंशियली कम बिकॉज ऑफ द कॉन्टैक्ट पोटेंशियल्स विच यू हैव ऑलरेडी स्टडीड इन डायोड्स, राइट। और मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली आपका ये 5 FM, द मेटल वर्क फंक्शन, सेमीकंडक्टर का वर्क फंक्शन होता ही नहीं है, हम लोग जानते हैं ना। इट विल बी लाइक इलेक्ट्रॉन एफिनिटी हियर, and then this will be how much? Eg by 2q. This is your q5f. So basically xi-silicon plus Eg by 2, sorry, this will be Eg by 2, Eg by 2q plus 5f. This exactly will be matching with metal, कभी नहीं होगा। ठीक है, अगर इंस्टेंटेनियसली होता भी है, immediately because of some even the smallest voltage fluctuation it is going to change, so you can never ensure that. So that means you have to apply one voltage at the gate just to make sure that they are flat. But those complications, those are kind of realistic complications which we will investigate later. Okay, so that you can answer. But anyway, what you said is that temperature के कारण नहीं, temperature के कारण नहीं होता, ठीक है। But the only thing what happens is because remember that temperature variation is a very, very slow process. Okay, and we are speaking about the variation of the bands which will instantaneously respond to the variation in the voltages. So if you are changing the voltage on the metal gate over here, okay, at the rate of let us say 2 gigahertz, that is 1 upon 2 gigahertz means 0.5 nanoseconds time period, ठीक है। 0.5 nanoseconds में जहां आपका voltage change हो रहा है, then roughly around 0.5 nanoseconds the bands will keep changing. You can never imagine like 0.5 nanoseconds में temperature variation हो रहा है, no, simply not possible. Temperature variation will take at least a few minutes, which is like infinity from the perspective of the device. Okay,
ठीक है
got
सर।
it पृथ्वीराज। टेम्परेचर के कारण नहीं होगा, बट व्हाट यू हैव सेड इज परफेक्टली करेक्ट कि ये फर्मी एनर्जी लेवल्स कभी अलाइन हो ही नहीं सकता, विच आई हैव स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन्ड हियर, प्रैक्टिकली इम्पॉसिबल, स्पेशल हाईलाइट।
ओके,
बट
ओके,
दैट जीरो एरर थिंग वी विल बी एक्सप्लोरिंग लेटर। ठीक है, अगर मैं पहले से ही वो सब थोड़ा बताना शुरू कर दूं थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो जाएगा। सो आई एम जस्ट फॉलोइंग व्हाट इज द इजीएस्ट वे टू डील विथ मॉसफेट, बिकॉज अगर हम पूरा मॉसफेट एज अ होल देखना शुरू करेंगे ना, it will become too much overwhelming for you, at least in the depth that we are going, at least in the depth which you should be dealing with in industry. Okay, so that's why. Okay, all right, so now what we will do is, so the bulk potential is this, you all understood this. Okay, now, so this is the case of flat band. Flat band matlab provided there is no zero error. Whatever Prithviraj said is correct only, we will look into that in more details later. तो अगर जीरो एरर अगर नहीं है, यानी कि when you are standing on the weighing machine, you can, before standing only you can see that okay, zero is zero over there. तो अगर जीरो एरर, that is the flat band voltage अगर नहीं है, then what is the situation? uh, the situation is something ideal one, practically impossible, that the metal work function, metal Fermi energy level and the Fermi energy level of the silicon is perfectly matched. Then obviously you can understand that all the energy levels will be perfectly horizontal. Okay, acha. First thing is that this is the energy axis, right? Y-axis. So if they are perfectly flat, as I said, EI infinity is EI zero. So that means the energy levels in the bulk is the same as the energy level on the surface. Okay, that is the meaning of being flat, right? So that is why it is called the flat band. Now, if it is a flat band, सोचो इस बात को. What is the gradient of these energy bands? Hello?
0.
0. That means if the gradient of the energy bands is 0, that means what is the field? Your Fy field, that means the vertical field. Remember, this is y. Fy is equal to 0 in this case. So, what does it mean? अगर field नहीं है, यानी कि there is no reason for the electrons or the holes or the carriers, that is the mobile charge carriers, to move either in this direction or in this direction. जाने की कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है, कोई फील्ड ही तो नहीं है ना. Got it? So that means this flat band condition is something similar to the equilibrium case which we had seen in the case of a diode or the materials itself. Got it? Now we will just a little bit of analysis over here because we will be requiring this later on. Notice this P infinity. What is P? Hole concentration, free hole concentration. Infinity means at the bulk. So the free hole concentration at the bulk is equal to Na. सबको पता है. Is equal to Ni e to the power of Ei infinity minus Ef. Ei infinity, because I am speaking about the infinity, that means more towards the bulk. Bulk region में देखो Ei और Ef में जो difference है वही तो है आपका ये phi f, है ना? So that is Na equal to Ni e to the power of phi f by phi t. This is something which we will require later on. So I have just written it for the bulk infinity में. ठीक है? Very good. Now what we will do is अभी MOS operation चालू हो रहा है. अभी देखो what we have done is we have applied a negative Vg. हम लोग NMOS के लिए हमेशा क्या देते हैं? पॉजिटिव. ठीक है? So here I have specifically added one negative Vg over here so that 0 से कम है. Remember I have told that VFB is 0. All right, that means the zero error is 0 over here. So VGB is negative. अगर VGB negative है then हम VGB कहाँ अप्लाई कर रहे हैं first of all? Hello? अरे यार, all of you should come back to the campus. It will be a more interactive session. Okay, देखो. What is happening? We are actually applying gate to body VGB, gate to body potential, right? So what is the gate terminal? The metal is the gate, right? Body कहाँ होगा? Infinity में होगा ना body. So VGB is negative. So that means if we are assuming that the body is grounded, gate को हम negative VG apply कर रहे हैं. So let me minus V कर minus, ठीक है? So minus with respect to the body. Then what is the situation? तो अगर यहाँ पर grounded है, यहाँ पर आप negative voltage दे रहे हो, then this EFM, will it go up or will it go down?
Goes up.
Why? Very good.
We are talking about electron energy band, so
exactly. Awesome. Who is this?
Srinivas.
Very good. Srinivas. Awesome. Like I want everybody to answer. Ashok कहाँ है? Ashok? Yes. Ashok, Mimangshu, so many people are here. Why only one of you? Everybody should answer. I want everybody to shout. You know, in IIT, what I used to say, if I used to ask a question, there will be total like fish market over there. Everybody started shouting together. So that kind of zeal is missing in BIT students. I want everybody to start answering. Make mistakes, yaar. In fact, if you make mistakes, for example, Prudhviraj, okay, he said that temperature maybe के कारण भी difference हो जाएगा. It's a good thing that he expressed that he does not know. Yaar, that is now he is perfect. Now he knows. Now everybody knows. I want every one of you to make a fool of yourself and tell that, sir, मुझे तो लगता है, no, it is going to be the voltage level will go down. Make mistakes. That is the best way to learn. All right. So because I am essentially paid in bits just to rectify you. Make use of me. Okay, I'm there to help you guys, but if you do not open up, it is impossible for me to even understand what is going on inside your head. I know. I'm a, you can call me an expert on devices and circuits, but I am not an expert in mind reading, thought reading, right? So please open up. Okay, fine. So what Srinivas said is perfectly correct. So now if we are putting a negative gate bias, ये ऊपर उठ जाएगा. Awesome. Because VGB is negative. Now notice, the moment this goes up, essentially meaning that you have applied a negative gate bias, and basically the metal, one way of looking at it is the metal side, that is the gate metal, is essentially going to accumulate more number of negative charges. Negative charges hua matlab, remember this is a p-type semiconductor. That's the reason why EF is close to EV. Notice, highlight, EF is close to EV, not close to EC. No, EF is close to EV. Now this is a p-type substrate. So basically the p-type, the holes will essentially move towards the surface. However, current is not possible because of the oxide, but the holes will basically accumulate on the surface like this. Holes will move from the bulk to over here. So this is one way of looking at it, but we will understand it much more in depth. So when the potential of the metal terminal goes up thanks to the applied negative gate bias, what will happen? All the other bands will also go up. However, do not forget that you have kept this grounded anyway. So that means you have applied minus V on the gate terminal, essentially leading to an upward going EFM in case of the metal. However, since you have kept it grounded, still it is grounded, right? So that means the bands, energy bands in the close to the body terminal is not going to change. Awesome, right? So what happens is, if you are applying a minus V on the gate terminal, only the bands closer to the surface is going to change. So you are going to have band bending like this. Everybody with me? Please ask questions.
Sir,
Ashok
Fermi
काफी चुप
level
हो गया है.
can change.
Yeah.
Fermi level can
Yes.
change. We can agree, but why EC?
Fermi energy
EC
level will
is
not change. Sorry.
okay.
This is going to change. I'm just, yeah, perfect. The Fermi energy level is not going to change. Why? Because the Fermi energy level changing means there is a carrier transport. Carrier transport nahi ho raha hai. So Fermi energy level will still remain the same. Okay. That is the reason why the Fermi, since there is no carrier transport possible, the Fermi energy level remains undisturbed. Okay. Fermi energy level in the semiconductor remains the same. However, in the metal, it will rise up because you are directly applying potential to the gate terminal. You are not directly applying a gate potential to the substrate. The substrate is still connected with the ground. Okay. Huh? Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
like, please
Yes.
explain physical interpretation of conduction band bending.
No. Basically, what happens is, why is it bending upwards? Because all the energy levels, if you see the amount, it has shifted over here. So if this is like, let us say 0.1 EV. Oh, sorry. If it is 0.1 EV, this will also change by 0.1 EV. And this is basically what this dashed line is basically EI, intrinsic Fermi energy level. So this intrinsic Fermi energy level and इसका तो band gap है ना, तो band gap के हिसाब से बाकी सब भी change होगा. So this shift is also 0.1 EV. Okay. So it is not basically speaking about the EC. These bands are all parallel, right? EC, EI, and EV. However, EF has got a different connotation, which is coming from statistical mechanics. Okay? So and statistical mechanics has got to do with the movement of the carriers. यहाँ पर movement of the carriers नहीं हो रहा है, so EF remains fixed. So rest of the bands will shift by the same amount as it is shifting in the gate terminal. Here is an assumption that some amount of voltage will be lost in the oxide. Again, those complications we will see later. Okay, so that's why we are telling that if it is 0.1 EV, it will also move by 0.1 EV. नहीं, यहाँ पर 0.1 से कम ही होगा, because some amount of voltage which you are applying on the gate terminal will be absorbed in the oxide. And what are the sources of that oxide? The potential drop in the oxide we will investigate later. Those are basically the faults in the oxide, like traps in the oxide. We will look into those oxide anomalies, if I can call it, the defects in the oxide. We will look into it later. And because of the defects, some amount of the applied voltage will always be lost over there. And that is the reason why we need to bother about the surface potential. Surface potential is the potential which is actually coming over here. So the way I have drawn over here, it means that the surface potential is equal to VGB. Never. Okay, surface potential is definitely going to be different from VGB. Okay, all I'm suggesting is that if you have applied a negative gate bias, it is definitely going to go up. It is not going to be the same as the VGB. Later on, we will see those expressions. I mean, I do not know whether I should write it now only. VGB will be equal to the voltage between the gate and the body. Okay, VGB matlab yahan par or yahan par. This is the voltage which you are applying. So what are the potential drops? There is no potential drop in the metal terminal. Why? Because metal is a good conductor, right? So it is not going to have any potential drop. So that is why metal is an equipotential surface. So metal में कोई drop नहीं होने वाला. Drop होगा oxide में, because it is a dielectric, and drop होगा semiconductor में. Okay. So basically we can write it like V oxide plus V semiconductor. This V semiconductor part is basically the surface potential phi s. And oxide में जो drop होगा, that we will see later. Okay. I don't want to go so much into the depth right now. Okay, just be with me. You will really get a punch actually. I mean, those of you who, and you can actually determine whether you are made for VLSI or not. अगर आपको लगे कि नहीं ये मेरा बस की बात नहीं है, then I think you should go to architecture or anything. But these are very, very fundamental. I have not even started any mathematics as of now. It's just qualitative physics. Yes, Aviral.
Sir, as the holes are getting accumulated over, so that won't shift towards EV due to holes after supplying negative.
What is going to shift to EV?
These Fermi levels in semiconductor bulk side, which we have showed
bulk में
upward.
नहीं ना, bulk में कहाँ होगा? ये holes are essentially coming to the surface. तो surface में EV कहाँ है? EV 0 यहाँ है, right?
Yes sir, yes sir.
तो यहाँ पर ये distance ज़्यादा है या ये distance ज़्यादा है?
Okay sir. Okay sir. Okay sir.
Great, no? So in fact, I am so happy that Aviral came up with the question. So all of you start asking the question. So now what we understand is that, in fact, this is clear. Now the moment I drew this, Aviral is very clear now. तो यानी कि holes अगर ज़्यादा आ रहा है surface पे, तो clearly we can understand that the surface is more p-type than the bulk. That is what I have written here. Surface is more p-type than the bulk. If we want to develop more mathematics, what we will understand? Surface potential की तरह से देखो. So surface potential is going to be negative now. Why? Because EI infinity के हिसाब से EI 0 is here. ठीक है? Actually मुझे समझ में आ रहा है like why you are getting it slightly tougher. Have any one of you encountered this level of MOSFETs before? I don't think so. No. हाँ, इसीलिए थोड़ा आपको समझने में थोड़ा सा दिक्कत हो रहा है, बट विद इन 2-3 days you will become experts. I'm telling you. हाँ अशोक, very good, you are back.
Sorry, sir. I mean, in the previous time, I mean, I'm getting some network lag, so I
Oh,
mean,
okay.